but not enough has been done to find sustainable solutions. I acknowledge there are legitimate concerns with business owners in Marion, but this ordinance does not impact their privately owned properties. If we are to make a dent in this issue, it needs to be community driven. A community problem deserves community support. For the last few months, I have watched the topic of the unhoused become a political pawn in our city. Much like the infrastructure needs, it has been a can that has been kicked down the road for someone else to deal with, a can that has been kicked for years. Unfortunately, this ordinance has come to the City Council with little to no investigation on how to solve this very real problem. There is no viable solution in tandem with the ordinance. It only addresses the act of sleeping outside on public property, on the ground, in the cold, and now as the most brutal nights of the year lie ahead. We must face the reality of this problem. To suggest that anyone living here does not want a safe and clean Marion is ridiculous. We all want that. I want that. I work in the city. I have a child. I walk along the streets and visit the businesses in the city. Unfortunately, many prominent members of our community have not corrected the blatant lie that busloads of unhoused folks are being dropped off with $500 gift cards. This is a lie that is told nationally in rural towns and has been for many years, because no one wants to face the fact the majority are from McDowell. According to the PIT, aka the point in time count that was done in August, 81% of the unhoused are from McDowell. No one wants to recognize this as a homegrown issue that has been fueled by years of neglect, abuse, opioid and drug use, generational poverty, lack of opportunities, and economic decline. Now, this is not something we are alone in. This is a nationwide problem. But instead, many communities around the nation, including our own, have chosen to scapegoat the problem because the shame that this could happen in our community is just too great. Not my circus, not my monkeys, right? According to the NC Housing Coalition's January 2025 report, homelessness is up 19% from 2023 to 2024. Family homelessness is up 26%. The homeless who go unsheltered has risen 50% from 2010 to 2024 at the state level, compared to the 17% national level. 15% of our residents in McDowell fall below the poverty line, and 12% of our residents are uninsured, according to the 2023 NC Rural Center report. We are all one major event from our lives turning upside down. The majority of us are few missed paychecks away from losing our homes, or just one hurricane. While sitting at the last few city council meetings, I have heard several complaints, many legitimate, about issues in our city. Unfortunately, while the issue of the unhoused was addressed, I was disappointed that many of those who commented did not address sleeping on public property at night. Most of the complaints were about individuals who may or may not be unhoused, who may be arguing or talking with someone who is not there, walking down the street behind people, or asking for money. There are comments about needles which are found, some even found where I work. But people with homes also use substances. This is not an unhoused exclusive activity. The complaints all dealt with circumstances that happen in the daytime and not at night, which was surprising considering the ordinance is about sleeping on public property at night. But I did hear Zach Mills speak, someone who spoke out against the ordinance at the last meeting and had been previously unhoused. His major concern should be all of our concerns if we want to solve this problem. If the unhoused are forced out of the city, how can he and others who wish to help them reach them? How can they be found? And ultimately, for me, this begs the question, is this not another attempt at kicking the can down the road? Ultimately, the ordinance says that after 3 times of being asked to leave, a person can be arrested. Once this occurs, they will lose the ability to receive housing assistance. It hurts their chances at getting a job and improving their life. Not everyone who is unhoused is on drugs or dangerous or lazy. The majority of the people are just down on their luck. Something happened in their life, and unfortunately, they may not have had someone to fall back on. I grew up in the mill communities, and I grew up with a lot of kids whose families were down on their luck. And the only thing that separated me from them was luck. I was lucky to be born into the family that I was in, but so many are not. As a former teacher at Eastfield, I saw this was still a problem, even though I had left the school as a student nearly 25 years prior. One person comes to mind. He will remain nameless, but he hangs out in East Marion. This person is unhoused and has been for